Okay, we will start. I'm going to give it maybe another minute. I feel like I was trying to get everything situated. My computer's changed a little bit, so I was trying to make sure everything was still set up right. But I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and is having a good 2022. I know I'm excited. I always love New Year's. It feels like fresh starts and all the excitement that comes with that. And I personally just love that time of year. Not the cold, but I like the start of a new year. It's always fun. I'm in Georgia, and we actually had snow. Was about a week and a half ago now, where we had almost 2 inches. So I'm kind of at the foothills of the mountains in North Georgia, and so we had quite a bit of snow, which was interesting because Georgia rarely gets snow, but we had some, and that was interesting. So I'm kind of glad that it melted, because Georgia is not prepared when we do have snow. So I hope that everyone's been staying safe and also healthy. I know if you traveled, it could have been crazy with getting sick. I know a lot of people were sick. I was sick for quite a bit. So I hope that everyone is safe and healthy. So let's see. So it is a few minutes after. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see. So we're going to cover your 2022 Amazon marketing plan, and this is part 2. So if you didn't have a chance to watch the first part, you can actually watch just this, and it'll still all make sense, but you'll just have more to kind of go through as you're thinking about your Amazon marketing plan for this year if you watch the first part as well. So it'll just kind of really add to it. But to be quite honest, you'll be able to take these things and topics that we're going to cover today, and you're going to be able to then really run with it, even if you're just watching this section. So like I said, don't feel like you're kind of behind on anything. You're going to be able to follow along because it kind of stands on its own. But to be quite honest, this would have been a very, very long webinar. And I know at a certain point, it's easy for, just like attention span to be like, okay, it's just going to be too much if it was more than an hour, to be quite honest. So it probably would have been closer to 2 hours if I would put it all together in one, which is why I've split it out. And I think this will be really helpful though. So the first thing I want to point out is updating your marketing message. Now, when you think of your marketing message, you have to think about who is your ideal customer. Now, a lot of times, if you are a brand that's been around for a while, or even if you're somewhat newer, most likely you should have a good idea of who that ideal customer is. So you really want to think through a few different things. So, you've got to think through what that ideal customer, that customer avatar, what are their pain and frustrations that they're dealing with? What are their fears, their implications of that? What are their dreams, their aspirations? What are their goals, their desires? The more that you know about that ideal customer, the better. And I'll kind of explain and elaborate a little bit more on that. But you'll want to make sure you really have this honed in. And then I'm also going to share with you, if you're not exactly sure on some points about your customer and who's buying your products, I'm going to share a little bit specifically with Amazon what you can use, data that you can use that'll help you to kind of see who's buying your products. So I'm going to kind of give you some examples. Let's say the demographic of, who typically is buying and that ideal customer that's buying from you for your products. Let's say that they're generally older than 35, for instance. They have mainly they're predominantly female. They, let's say they're married and they have a few kids, and like their income's like usually over 65,000. Things you can see, just think through. I mean, you can get even to more of the emotions, like they're family oriented, they're maybe easily frustrated, maybe they like clean health products, or they live in the suburbs. The more you can know and write down about your customer avatar, the better. Now, if you most likely already have something like this that exists. So if you haven't looked at it in a while, I would definitely recommend pulling that out later just to revisit, because the more you can hone in on speaking to that ideal customer, the more effective and impactful your Amazon marketing is going to be. In a sense, it really is things also when you're marketing off of Amazon are really going to apply to Amazon as well. Then think about their pains and frustrations, especially like maybe they're trying a certain type of product, but it's not working for them. Or maybe they have a health issue that they're trying another product and this is not working. And they can't really get that to solve that issue that they're having. Like, what is that issue that they're having that they're then coming to for your product, for instance? What is it that they're trying to get fixed or resolved? Maybe they've tried other things, it hasn't worked for them. Or even their condition, like something is worsening and it's not good for their family. Think through what are those pains and frustrations that they're dealing with. Now, for the left side, when we're talking about demographics, a tip that I want to share with you as it relates to Amazon, if you are the brand owner and you have a seller Central account, one thing that you'll want to use and look into is your brand analytics. So that is data that Amazon does share with you, and it actually does show a little bit about who's buying your products. So if you have brand registry on Amazon, and I hope that you do, then you'll want to looking at seeing on Amazon, how does this compare to maybe off Amazon on your website? So most likely you're going to have the most robust data when they're buying from you on your own website. You're going to be able to gather the most data. But Amazon for brand registered brands has made it really nice in that they are sharing information with you about who's buying when they're shopping on Amazon. Now, keep in mind a little bit, there's not going to always be as 100% accurate as it would be from your website, because they're looking at prime account holders that are purchasing, and maybe that's throwing some of the data off. But look and compare to your existing ideal customer avatar that happens off Amazon. And does that look different than who's buying on your website? And that could tell you a lot about maybe even understanding who you're trying to target on Amazon to customize it for your Amazon marketing message. So that would be where it could slightly tweak from who's buying from your website. Here's some other things to think about. Like, what are their fears and the implications? A lot of people have that fear of just paying too much that they could have gotten elsewhere, which if you have a MAP policy in place, then hopefully that will not be a concern for Amazon for them. Or they are feeling like, they're going to have their money taken and it's not going to work, basically. That could be a fear. And I will say, I think that the Amazon platform versus when they buy from maybe your website, or even if they buy from a retail store, the Amazon marketplace and platform has done such a good job of instilling trust into their customers on the platform and taking a lot of those fears away. And I think that is just one of the reasons why, if you look at your business reports and your conversion rates, you'll notice that Amazon is one of the best places for high conversion rates that you typically will not see in other places online where you have that data, like your website. So Amazon's platform does actually take some of those things away. So that is kind of the nice thing. But still, I'm going to share a few more things with your messaging that you'll want to incorporate to kind of pull away those fears that they might have that would hinder them from adding to cart and buying your product to try out for maybe the first time. Because a lot of times what you are trying to do on Amazon is you are trying to reach new customers that are completely new to your brand, right? And then the last thing would be goals and desires. Like, they want to have that issue, whatever is, they've been struggling with, they want to have that behind them. They want to maybe have overall improved health, especially if your product is health related. This is going to be something. They want to have more time doing what they love. They want to have that peace of mind, things like that. So think about their goals and desires. Like I said, the more you can write down and really go look back what's your existing one, or if you haven't already done this exercise, I'd recommend doing this after. This would take too much time to do it right now, but really thinking through what are those things that they're wanting to see happen as a result in their life. So the more you can speak to these things, the better you are going to position yourself to really target them really well and have your messaging hone in so that it converts when they go to look at your products on Amazon. And just remember, like if let's say your ideal customer avatar is Jane Smith, if you can see through her eyes, then you can sell what she buys, right? So think as if you are that ideal customer. That's really going to help you with your messaging, obviously elsewhere, but on Amazon as well. And the next thing I want to talk about is your message. So we kind of talked about your who. Now we're going to talk about the what, like the message that you are sending and sharing with and communicating to potential buyers. So what is your message? Some things that you can think about, and these are things that you can jot down now on your piece of paper that you have in front of you, of why should someone choose to do business with you and your products versus the competition? And this is going to be really important because there is more competition now in 2022 than there has been 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. The competition on Amazon and the brands that are being introduced into the marketplace on Amazon is becoming more and more competitive. So the messaging is more important than ever, to be quite honest. So what makes your products and why people would want to do business with you over your competitors? If you can think of those reasons, go ahead and jot a few that come to your mind down. This is really going to help you, like I said, because there is so much, even more than there's ever been, of options for people. What benefits do you offer that your customer avatar would resonate with? That person that you're trying to target, what is it that you offer that is going to resonate with them? A lot of times it goes beyond, well, this is exactly about my product technically, but it goes to a lot of times their desires, their emotions, what they want that outcome. That's why it's so important to look at who you're targeting. So think about the benefits that will resonate with them. And jot maybe a few down that you can think of.